All right, it's very much like the laser projects that we did. I do it this way just so we don't end up having to do a final in 2 hours during finals week. That doesn't seem to work for this kind of class, so. It's an open-ended thing, so it's supposed to be a design for a wall stand. So that's something that mounts to the wall and then holds something. It can hold a baseball, a softball, or it can hold mail and keys, or it can hold anything that you can think of that you want to hold on a wall, right? So just basic like softball, baseball thing would be like a signature softball or baseball trophy thing. Anything you want to come up with is fine, as long as it then follows this kind of criteria. We're gonna make it out of that 1/8 inch plastic, cut it out on the laser, so the material is 26 by 16. Right, and it's gotta come out of one piece of material. I have well enough for that. We want to try to avoid glue like we did before. So think about how you're gonna attach it together. Minimum of 3 parts, could be more, can't be less. And it's gonna mount with 2 1/4 inch screws, so keep that in mind when it's a wall mount. Just regular pegs are not gonna work, because gravity's gonna be pulling this thing down, right? I mean, it'll work for part of it, but not all of it, potentially. And then probably the most important part for me is that you're gonna create some drawings, an assembly, kind of like the working drawing that we did, and then the flat patterns for the cuts, so. That's it. I'm looking for some complexity, so don't just make it super simple, but then I'm gonna be looking at how you dimension it. The assembly, if there's a front top side view of the details of each part, right? So we want to make that same kind of working drawing that we did in the last exercise. It is starting here and it ends finals week on Monday. So that's when you want to have everything uploaded. I'll cut them on Monday. So if you want to stick around for that and assemble it, you can. If you really don't care, you don't have to, and I won't cut it, so. But we want to design it for cut. So. Questions?
We're gonna mount it to a wall.
2 screws. Yep, 1/4 inch, so that you just have to have 2 mounting holes for the 2 screws. Yep. You know, it depends on how big of a thing you make, how far apart they are and that kind of thing. Totally up to you.
So does that like close it? Can it not just be like a shelf?
It can be just like a shelf. That would be the simplest version of this, yeah. But then held, I mean, it would have to hold the baseball, softball, so there'd have to be more than just a shelf.
Yeah.
Cause it's not, they're not gonna just sit there, right? And if you're gonna do, you know, keys and mail, then you should have something for the keys to hang on somehow or contain, so they don't just fall out. Other questions? Very similar to your last one, so. And we'll call it the final. And we'll be done. All right. That's it. So next week or this week, both days are just working.